Hey guys, and welcome to another Schematics update. This time we want to talk about RimWorld, more specifically about 1.0 release of RimWorld, finally. And for that we invited BillyMFMays. Hey dude.
Hello.
And I have Blind also with me.
How you doing?
First of all, I have to admit, I have no clue what these guys are talking about, so I just pass it on to Blind and Bell and enjoy.
Thank you, Adfo. We have selected a few features from the Unstable 1.0 build that we would like to talk about. We find them interesting, and we're just going to get right into it.
So you can build a pier now in RimWorld.
Essentially, this is something that has been in the game now for a while, is through mods. At least the basic bridges. I don't know about building on them. I didn't see that in mods, but
So they added a new message section in the history tab, which shows last 200 messages and letters you've received, even if you close them. So basically, if you miss something, you can go and look back what happened, or if you want to write a history for your colony. Kind of nice. I hope this includes like deaths and everything. That would be nice if there was like a permanent log of the deaths and everything, so you could go back and, oh, when did Adfo die and Blind die in this colony? And
that's just a nice quality of life feature, even if it's just very bare bones, because the number of times I've skipped out of just those notifications without even thinking about it, and then going, ah, crap, what was that?
Yeah, especially when they happen to pop up, like you're just closing one pop-up and it's like one new one pops under it and oops, what was that? I'm
just going to run through the raid changes real quick, which are improved raids. They have new kinds of raids, so example, snipers only. So I guess you'll get different gun types per raid now, which is kind of cool. New arrival modes, such as multiple groups attacking at once and enemy pods scattered all around the map.
I like the new like attack types are really nice, like the spots scattering all over the place. Like it's gonna catch your colonists who are like mining somewhere or chopping wood out of your base. You're gonna lose people into that, I'm sure. I don't know about the mechanics change. It's just like splitting the one into two, and that's it. Like there's a lot that you could do with the mechanics, like all kinds of different types.
I just really hope that there's some sort of stages to these, because I'd love to see like multi-stage like game raids, like, you know, there being a siege or something, and then they start dropping drop pods into your base while there's a siege happening, like just stupid stuff like that.
Also, I wonder what the new group kinds are like. But they basically had that already. Like you sometimes do get those groups with like mostly snipers, especially with like the sapper squad.
Or like all melee with shields.
Yeah. They improved caravaning. There's a better AI for the pack animals, so they follow your colonies now, so it's easier to pack them with all the goods. And there's a new caravan tab, so you can see how the caravan is getting loaded and all that. And the whole form caravan window has been redesigned, and everything is now explained better there, like the mass and speed and how many days of food you need and everything. And they also now forage for food while traveling, which is kind of interesting mechanic now, that they just pick up food on the road. Hopefully makes them more viable, because it's usually pain in the butt to get food for your caravans, unless you want to make like a million, whatever the food is, that's not like pemmican or the survival meals, whatever that are set last. It's kind of pain. So hopefully that helps a lot with that. Like my big complaint about the caravaning has been that it's kind of crappy feature added to the game.
It always felt kind of like an unbalanced mess to me. Like
it's like they added in the game and it's unfinished. So hopefully this helps with that. But I think they still need to do more improving the caravaning. Like there is a lot of stuff they could do for it and improve it usability.
So the next thing we have on here is new faction relation system. So they've added the ability to ally with a faction, which I basically do already by just gaming the system and throwing lots of silver at them. Maintaining good faction relations is now more important than before. Apparently you can offer gifts. That's going to be an interesting mechanic for sure. I wonder if they accept the hearts of their fallen enemies launched back at them.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. I think that the faction system has always been bare bones. So I'm really curious to see how these work and if they actually go into some kind of depth and what the... Because it does say that it's more important to maintain good faction relations. Like, how good are these gifts going to be? Or is it just going to be like, oh, here, have some food? Or are they actually going to give me, like, here, have an AI persona core? Like something actually seriously important.
Yeah, so this sounds like a hospitality mode light version, basically. Like, you can manage relations better, you can gift them stuff, and they just drop items to you when they like your colony. So it sounds like a light version of that mode. With less functionality.
Interesting.
And I've been really wanting to see that hospitality mode in the base game. So getting more stuff like that is very welcome for sure.
Like, the other factions always seem so static, and it's like, oh, you have a visitor. Oh, they're gone. They just walked through the map and they're gone. So that, yeah.
A new scenario, naked brutality. Start naked with no items, which
naked and afraid.
Yeah, sounds really fun. It's a new scenario. You could have done this yourself since the scenario thing was released because you can make custom scenarios, so you could just remove everything. But it's nice to have that as like a default option. I kind of wish there was even more like default scenarios to pick from, because I'm kind of lazy making my own.
Yeah, I never make my own either. I will definitely try this. It'll be fun. Okay, so we have some new items here. We have flak pants, prosthetic heart, bionic spine, bionic heart, bionic stomach, architect eye, architect arm, architect leg, and a tornado generator, and patch leather. Poor quality leather made from any combination of other leather. So you can just like...
Yeah, that used to be a mod as well previously. And it was actually a pretty good, nice mod, because you get like a billion 2 rat leather and a bit of buffalo leather and a bit of this and that leather. And it's nice to be able to combine them to something and then not just have like a garbage random up of something in your piles that you should sell.
Being naked, I guess.
Yeah. Addition of then like the spines and the bionic stuff and everything is nice as well, because those have been kind of missing, and it's always something I've been adding to the game to be able to make like bionic spines and hearts and stomach and whatever. If I happen to lose those, I need to be able to replace them with something. And now that that's base game, I probably won't use any of the new modded versions anymore.
Curious to see this tornado generator in action.
It's actually kind of interesting that there is a tornado generator in the new items, but later down in the list, it actually mentions that tornado has been removed from the game.
Okay. Wildlife tab has been added. That sounds like the mod.
Hopefully it's basically same functioning as the wildlife tab mod, because it's a really good mod and it would be nice in the base game. And it sounds like that.
I really like the next one.
So there's a new type of attack, kick sand, water in the eyes, kind of like dirty fighting option.
Yeah. I guess like melee fighting, they'll probably just automatically do that.
I wonder what it actually does, like kicking sand or water in the eyes, stun or something, because there was a mention of a stunning later on down in some of the notes.
They have like eye percentage and sight chance, right, which like works in aiming. It probably is just a debuff to that. I just wonder what the percentage is. Probably depending on success, right? It's just a dice roll. Trained animal skills and tameness now decay over time. Animals can revert to wild depending on their natural wildness. Now, I like that just specifically because that's kind of how animals are. Like, even if you have a pet dog and it's friendly, it's going to eventually, like, stop doing its obedience training if you don't, like, train it. And it's nice to actually have a use for your animal handlers.
Yeah, this depends a lot, like, how it's balanced. Like, if it happens, like, overnight, it's kind of garbage.
Yeah. But, like, if your animal handler dies 5 or 6 days later.
Yeah, exactly. I hope there's like some kind of system to maintain as well, because you just train and then you forget and then they go wild.
If you just have someone set to deal with the animals, they would just do that automatically, right? Because the skill would tick down and then they just go train them again, and then it's like a % chance depending on their skill to just get the skill back. So it'd just be a matter of maintaining it, just like repairing anything.
So the next new thing is the deep drill use will now sometimes cause insect attacks by tunneling through the ground near the drill with a warning. And I already hate this so much.
As somebody who plays underground a lot, I like things that make the insects more predictable. So I think that this is a cool addition, if nothing else. And time to fuck up some bugs.
Yeah, it's also like a direct nerf to the deep drills, which are really powerful late game, because you can get so much metals and all the materials with those very easily.
But by the time you're playing with deep drills anyways, I mean, you're gonna have like pretty heavily geared people. Killing bugs isn't that difficult. If anything, it's a decent food source for your animals late game, so it's not a bad thing. Removed tornado incident, making that tornado spawner weird.
While it's kind of bullshit event that just pops into your base and then shit gets broken, I kind of liked it in the game, so I'm kind of sad it's gone. I wish it was like a toggle to be able to have it in there.
I think that'll get modded back in T-minus 48 hours.
Yeah. Blunt weapons now have a chance to stun target.
Melee isn't very viable right now. Maybe this will make melee more viable.
Yeah, and it also makes Lord of the Rings and medieval runs more interesting, because you now have more options for like blunt weapons and everything.
No more random deaths from meteorites falling on colonists. I haven't had this happen yet, and I wanted it to happen, and now I'm sad.
Yeah, me too. Although it's an understandable change because it's such a bullshit if just a meteor hits your colonist and he dies. Or I think the tornado is the same reason why it's removed. Drops onto your colonist and it's like you can't do anything and your colony dies because of that. I think you can still get a drop code hit. Yeah, I like a lot of these changes. I was kind of expecting for a 1.0, I was expecting like more new stuff, not just the bridges and some of the changes. There's a lot of balance changes that need to be like tested before I can really say if it's good or not. One big problem with all of this is that things are getting nerfed and things are getting harder without actually adding like any new ways to deal with stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think the thing I'm the most curious about is the caravan changes. I'm skeptical about some changes, but I'll have to play it to find out. I have no problems with difficulty, so we'll see what they throw at us.
Yeah, as long as the difficulty is like a actual nice difficulty, like made well difficulty, and not just some bullshit you cannot control and you just lose because of that.
Cool. So that was Blind and BillyMFMays reading out Lord of the Rings, the full version. No, seriously, thanks a lot, BillyMFMays, for joining and talking a little bit about the patch notes of RimWorld, the unstable 1.0 version. And for you guys at home, thanks a lot for listening. And if you really like this video and want to support us even more, consider heading over to Coffee to buy the editor a coffee so he can stay up all night editing this video and videos to come in the future. Anyway, thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.